think a lot of this combine two factors here. So we have sort of global real interest rates that are heavily influenced by the developed countries, the United States, Europe, and Japan, putting downward pressure on global real interest rates. And of course that means that asset values, other things equal, the lower the real interest rate, the higher will be the value of equities and property and so on. And then you combine that with the fact that the structural problems are nowhere near as severe in Asia in terms of growth. So real economic growth is likely to be much higher in East Asia outside of Japan than in the U.S. and Europe. And we've never, I can't recall a time when we've seen that combination of ultra low real interest rates globally with very strong growth in a major region of the world. And so I think if you put those two factors together, you'd almost predict that there would be occasional bubbles breaking out in various asset markets. And I'm sure it depends on regional situations. Sometimes I read about some countries where there aren't a lot of good investment options outside of real estate, and that may play into some of this. Many Asian cities are relatively congested, and the land market is different from the United States, so it's harder to build in Singapore and Hong Kong, mainland China, and so on. So that also plays into the property prices. My impression is that the big cities in Asia, the price can rise sharply because of that land limitation, combined with these low real interest rates. And of course, don't forget the interest parity condition. So if you have strong real economic growth, the Balassa-Samuelson effect says your currency will tend to appreciate over time against the dollar. With interest parity, that means you should actually have lower interest rates in the United States. And we, of course, have relatively low interest rates already. So I'm not saying interest parity works perfectly in all those situations, but you combine those factors, there's extraordinarily strong downward pressure on Asian nominal interest rates, given the convergence of all those factors.